Hello everybody. This video is going to be about a recent Spyderco release. It's a collaboration with a custom maker whose name is Brad Southard. He was licensed to use the spider hole and on some of his designs, which he does. He makes very cool knives. They've definitely got a certain look to them. This one is, as you can see, a flipper. This is actually Spyderco's first flipping design, and it works very well, very fast. Has a ball bearing system on the inside, like a lot of knives do these days. A lot of flippers do. Take a look here. You'll see it's the titanium frame lock. It's made in Taiwan. Pocket clip's kind of interesting. Obviously one way only. Right hand tip up. I think it'd look a little better if this was rounded right here. I think I'll probably do that. Round this off kind of to meet the end of the knife. As it is, it doesn't even really line up with the lines of the knife, but it works well. The lip is big enough to catch your pants or whatever you may be clipping it to. It is slightly pointy on the top here, and so I think I'm going to have to smooth that out a little bit. Also, these cutouts right here are slightly pointy. Those will be harder to smooth out because I don't want to affect the stonewash, which is very nice stonewash on this. It's got the darker look to it. It just looks really nice. You can see here a G10 over travel. This will keep the lock bar from over traveling. You can see there's a little cutout in the lock bar, and it won't let it go past that G10 insert there. That's a good idea. Kind of an earth brown G10, very coarse. Reminds me of the Strider G10 at first, which has kind of, at first it's almost grabby, like sandpaper, or kind of like a file or something, but that's the same way this was, and now it no longer does that. The other liner here is also titanium. You can see, if we open it up here, you should be able to see the milling there to lighten the load. One thing that kind of bugs me, I'm not sure why they did this, but you can see that this side with the scale and the liner is thicker than the titanium frame lock side. It's kind of interesting. I'm not sure. What I'd like to do is to take this scale off, and if it were flattened on the back side about to where that radiusing starts, it'd make them right about even, so that the bottom of this ball milled area here would mate up to the scale. That would make it right about even. Not a big deal, but it's just kind of weird. I don't know why they would have done that, but it's almost like they got the wrong thickness and just put it on there anyway. You can see it there, right here. There's an internal stop pin. which rides in a channel on the inside of the blade. It flips really nice. The way this flipper cutout here is, you just kind of push backwards and it shoots out real fast. You can see standoffs here, flow through design, a nice big lanyard hole, which doesn't look to be flared, which is nice. Kind of bugs me when Spyderco flares these lanyard tubes, because it makes it a pain to take it apart. I'm sure this would come apart as easy as, you know, the next knife without that, which is nice. You can see this one is perfectly centered and evenly ground. I've been having some problems with Spyderco lately with the grinds being, the whole blade being ground unevenly, and when that happens there's no way to fix centering because the blade is actually ground incorrectly. I find it very annoying. The place I ordered this from, I asked that they check that, and they did a good job. So from what I understand, I haven't opened this myself, but as far as I understand, the lock bar is hardened. Take a look in there. There we go. You can see the detent ball. Nice. Sticks up a good amount, which makes for a real nice detent. And that's part of the reason it flicks out so good. Which it really does. I mean, it's one of the best flippers. I'm not a huge flipper guy. I like the spider hole, which you can use on this knife if you would like. A little bit. See, that's another reason I wish this scale wasn't so thick. It buries the hole a little bit, but you can do it if you get used to it. Of course, it's made to flip, and the flipper works very well. This blade uses CTS, which is a Carpenter tool steel 204P. If we can read that. Pretty small. Still hard to read, but that's what it is. You can take a look here. You can see the G10 is very aggressive. All the lines around the scales, where the scales meet the liner, are all perfectly flush. This particular one's a perfect example, and at this price range, in my opinion, they all should be perfect. It's an expensive knife, and once you get up into this price range, you know, people expect a certain degree of fit and finish. This particular one delivers on it. You know, we'll see as we go forward if all of them do or not, but hopefully they do. You can see hollow ground blade here. It's about 0.02 behind the edge, so relatively thin. You know, for a production knife, it's still not you know, it's not a super high performance grind, but it cuts well. Smaller spider hole than usual, obviously, because it's not necessary to use the knife. You can see the Taiwan logo there, which is, you can tell where a Spyderco's from, not only from the markings there, which obviously tell you where it's from, but each Spyderco logo, depending where it's made, is a little bit different. I like the Taiwan logo. It's got kind of a swirly design on the inside from the pattern they use when they cut it out. but the blade's got a very nice stone wash. Real silky smooth. Blade shape's very cool. I like the blade shape quite a bit. They also managed to pack a lot of blade length, a lot of edge into a knife this size. For comparison, we just had the SNG out. We can get that out again here, and you can see that overall length is very similar. The SNG is a little bit longer, but they're pretty close. And you can see here the SNG is just a little bit longer. But look at the difference in edge length here. You can see there's quite a large difference. Although the belly is similar, SNG's got a little bit more belly. The edge length is quite a bit longer on the Southard, while retaining basically the same overall size. He packs a lot of edge into a knife this size. To kind of show that a little bit better, we'll get out the military here, which, as you can see, if we put it tip to tip, is quite a bit longer overall. However, if we compare the edge length, you can see that they're pretty close. Line up the edges here. Very similar belly to the military, which is an all-time favorite of mine. The military really is a kind of a reference knife for me, but you can see they pack a lot of edge length into this Southard for the overall size. Which, I kind of like that. I mean, Spydercos overall tend to have, because of the 50-50 choil, they tend to have, the blade to handle ratio is not the greatest, I guess is what you would say. On the Southard, they've managed to use the whole handle. They couldn't make it any longer. Spydercos, a lot of times you'll see that the blade, for whatever reason, just ends short. I mean, they've got a lot of space there left that they could use, but they don't for whatever reason. So Southard, you can see that they've used every last bit. No danger of catching your finger on the tip there. It's just right. I was on the forums, and there was a thread about this knife, and someone asked if it was, in the same how it compared to a hinderer. And in my opinion, and that's all it is. This knife is right up there with the hinderer. Fit and finish, at least again this example, fit and finish is perfect. Blade play, I mean, it's rock solid, rock solid. In my opinion, it flips better and easier than a hinderer. Again, that'll be different knife to knife, but the hinderer I had did not flip like that. Probably a combination of the fact that it didn't have the ball bearing system like this does, and the detent on the hinderer I had maybe wasn't 100% perfect or whatever, but I think this is right up there with the hinderer. Obviously, owning a hinderer has certain benefits as far as, kind of a status type thing, but this knife is right up there. It's really impressed me. The only negative really that I have found is this pocket clip is a little bit annoying on the palm of your hand, as is this area right here. On this one at least, these are kind of pointy, and if they would have beveled this, you see how this is beveled here, rounded. If they would have beveled that, these like that, I think it would have made a big difference, because it is noticeable. That's the only downside with this whole knife. Other than that, you know, and that's kind of a nitpicky thing. It's not that bad. Just kind of throwing it out there. But yeah, very cool knife. I'm very pleased with it. I think the Spyderco's got a huge hit on their hands with this one, and I think it'll be very popular. Luckily for everybody, it's not a sprint or anything, you know. Everybody who wants one should be able to get one in time, you know. I think the first run they made 1,200 of these, so the next run I'm sure they'll make 1,200 more, and in a matter of time I think this knife should be available. Although I do think it's going to be very popular, and it's going to be a big hit for Spyderco. So congratulations Spyderco, congratulations to Brad Southard. You did an excellent job on this knife, and I'm happy, proud to own it. So that's my first impressions on the Spyderco Brad Southard collaboration. Haven't used it a lot, so you know, I'm not going to try and call this a review. It's really just a first impressions. Give you guys a chance to get a look at it in all its glory. And I can tell you that this CTS 204P is an excellent steel. I've used it extensively on a couple of Microtech knives and have been very impressed. Just for anybody who doesn't know, it's the American version. Carpenter Steel, which is an American company, made this, and it's pretty much an exact copy, not quite, but pretty much an exact copy of M390 from oh, can't think of the name right now, but same thing as M390 basically. So, and a lot of people have experience with that. It's an excellent steel. So alright guys, with that we'll leave you, and we'll see you on the next video. I thank you all for watching. Have an excellent day.